All right, guys, what's up? We are doing the Summer Icon Series, or the Icon Series Summer Cup Finals today. Now, if you haven't watched it, I recommend that you go and do. It was a 5-game series. It went all the way to the best of 5, and it was an incredibly close matchup between Taiwan and Thailand. I was talking to some of my AOV friends, and they always mentioned that Taiwan and Thailand were like very, very strong for AOV competitive. And it feels like now that Southeast Asia is kind of getting into Wildrift, that Taiwan and Thailand are looking like pretty strong contenders for Wildrift here as well. So we've got Taiwanese team, One Team Esports versus a Thailand team, EVOS Esports. Very, very, very strong players. I've watched a lot of these guys throughout the cup. This was going to be a banger finals. I'm going to be analyzing game 1 today. I'm not going to spoil the outcome of the series for you because I do recommend that you go and watch it. Or Hell's Devil did publish a video on game 5 of the series. Really funny. Went onto my YouTube homepage and I was like, whoa, Hells has done an esports analysis video. I was like, he's never done one of those before. And I looked at it and it's like, okay, yeah, he's done exactly the same series that I was going to do today. But I didn't want to mess up my content production either, so I decided to go and do the same series as well, but just a different game. He analyzed the final game of the series. I'm going to be analyzing the first game of the series. This one was insane. We'll start off with the picks and the bans and the comps. I didn't see the bans, but we can start off with the comps in general. Gragas, Olaf, Corki, Varus, Seraphine. So, the core of this comp is that it's got a very strong level 5, and it has some good scaling elements too. So the core of the comp is that once you get to level 5, you have a very strong dragon fight when you combine the Varus and the Seraphine together. Chains of Corruption plus Seraphine's Encore gives you a really strong team fight tool. Lots of chain CC. You can have people stunned up for, excess of, 3 to 4 seconds. Then you're just layering a strong mid-game Olaf on top of that with the CC and Disruption of the Gragas. And then the Corki as well provides an element of ranged power that you can offer your comp. So it's a very, very strong kind of like team fight comp at level 5. You do need to land your ultimates for this to be useful. There is a very, very fine line between this comp being good and this comp being trash, and that kind of relies on Varus and Seraphine hitting their ultimates. But obviously that they have the kind of the backup plan of, as they get towards the late game, they've got very strong scaling with Seraphine and Corki. Varus scales pretty well. Gragas becomes a bit of a super tank. So they have a lot of elements that make this comp really good. But realistically, they're looking for a strong level 5 team fight. And then use that to snowball. In fact, any team fights realistically post level 5 are going to be good for these guys if they can chain their CC together. Unfortunately, there is one big cock blocker involved, and that's Braum. That's the support that Miracle was able to pick up for EVOS. And EVOS have got... Okay. Just hear me out here, right? Just hear me out.
Why?
Why is there a Fiora jungle? Like, why have you got Fiora jungle and Camille Baron lane? Now, let me theorize... why this could be. My best guess is that Valdus just likes playing it. I'm pretty sure your gold income is going to be lower on Fiora in the jungle. Your matchup into Gragas is better than the Camille's matchup into Gragas. Your clear speed won't be as strong as other junglers, maybe even slower than Camille's. I'm not sure why you'd put Camille in the jungle. Sorry, Fiora in the jungle over Camille, and then you just don't have Fiora go top lane. My only thought is that Valdus particularly likes playing this, and it's comfort for him, because otherwise I don't really see the value of Fiora over Camille. Now, I guess what Fiora does bring is a lot of damage in the ganks, but you do need setup. You'll need setup for Fiora to be good. Now there is setup top lane, and there is a little bit of setup bot lane, but there is absolutely zero setup mid lane. So I don't expect Valdus to go anywhere near mid this game. Ziggs, probably one of the strongest competitive picks in the game. Just really, really good at taking towers and burning them down. I'd say Kai'Sa might just be the best AD carry in the game, and Kai'Sa Braum is a strong combination. But like at the first dragon fight, this team fight sucks. Like they've got a lot more single target focused. Obviously they have the Ziggs, but he doesn't get that strong at level 5. So I think if you're EVOS, you probably have to be very careful around the first dragon. So let's just see how this goes. Obviously I can't have sound on because we'll have the casters on it, so that's a little bit more difficult for me to do anything with. In terms of lane prio, like you should get no priority bot. So your bot lane from 1 should be in complete control here. That's why you start third ability on Seraphine in certain matchups, by the way. I know on one of my Wildrift Doctor episodes, there was a comment that was talking about starting first ability on Seraphine, but starting third ability, especially when you've got the right setup, can be much more impactful in terms of getting a serious advantage at level 1 in the laning phase. So if you're one esports, I expect the Olaf to play more heavily around the bot side of the map here, especially if you're going for bot scuttle, because you have very strong priority. You don't have priority mid, so you have to be a little careful that the fact that the Ziggs can roam more readily. But it looks like that Gragas has got natural priority in the top lane as well. So for Olaf, apart from mid lane, he just has to be a little careful about Ziggs rotations. He should be able to go pretty much anywhere on the map. I am quickly going to just pause here because I forgot I haven't set my pen up. So give me 1 second. Right, we should have Epic Pen ready to go. So Olaf, I think has done the correct thing here. So what you can see Corki's positioning, he's on this side of the map and Ziggs is on this side of the mid lane. So it quite clearly gives the indication about where the junglers are. Olaf they're going for a very early tower dive. I love this. This is super, super good stuff from One Esports. They massively use their priority in the bot lane. Oh my God, gotta pause it right now. Okay. This is a classic League PC move that you do sometimes see in the early laning phase in bot lane. Corki positioned here. Olaf did a full red side clear and didn't even bother going for the scuttle, by the way. Went up through the blue side, got some deep vision down, and just immediately peeled for the gank. Corki made his way down for the gank as well. And this was all set up because bot lane had complete priority. And obviously what I mean by priority is that they had the wave pushed in. They were able to rotate out of the lane at whim, but also they were able to set up on the tower dive. And look at what they've done, well, at least obviously not all of it, but look at what they are starting to deny from Cat Satan and Miracle. Like, that is a lot of minions that are just going to die to turret here, and actually no one lost their life on One Esports. So that was a really lovely play that was drawn from League PC inspiration. Now it looks like Valdis is doing, I think, the correct thing here. So Valdis is just going to go for the double scuttle. He didn't get the chance to go into the blue side jungle of Olaf, and it looks like Olaf is aware of that, which is why he's pathing up towards his blue side. Although Olaf, even if he wasn't aware of it, has nothing on the red side of the map, so clearly isn't going to get anything from that. I don't know why I've got my headphones on, by the way. So I really like that early play from One Esports. That was really good. It just shows you the power of having a strong bot lane with a lot of priority, as long as your mid lane and jungler are on the same page. Bayer and Jan were able to just go for it. Now, that is a really nice gank onto Bayer here. That was just beautifully played. Corki's super mobile. They knew that he burnt all of his summoners on the bot lane tower dive. Just, you weren't going to get much love going for a tank Gragas as a Camille, at least not this early on in the game. So it was a nice roam down, Hextech ultimatum so Corki couldn't escape, and it was coordinated and timed so well with Valdis and G4, who were able to just jump on it straight away. Doesn't really get much here for EVOS. I still think that they lost way more in that bot lane tower dive than they would have gained by doing something like that. The thing that the bot lane power is giving you at this stage in the game is that you have now complete control of the dragon area. So for having a strong bot lane is very strong, very good. You know, for just having good control of the dragon area, which now means that, you know, realistically, one team should be able to get this first dragon, and if EVOS are smart, they won't try and contest it because your bot lane is so far behind. Love this. They're threatening a second tower dive. Even if they don't go for the tower dive here, they are denying minions away, and they're going to get some plates over towards the One Esports guys. Now, it looks like Valdis has made a decision to come and at least protect that tower dive. If I were Valdis, I would maybe look towards playing around Thipper on the top side of the map, especially with G4, and going for a top lane tier 1 tower take, because I just feel like your first team, or your first dragon fight, is not going to be that strong unless you're able to pick someone off early on. Nice ult. Catches out the Varus. Don't think they knew that he was there. And that's a beautiful setup. Really nice setup. They trade 1-for-1 overall, but I think Ninja should be able to get something more out of this. He's not used his ultimate, I think, just previously. They take out the jungler, but I don't think they've got enough. Oh, okay. Okay, good roam from Thipper. Nice combo. You're seeing that they're doing this combo between the Ziggs and the Camille over and over again. Really nice combo. You know, between the Hextech ultimatum and the Ziggs bomb, you're guaranteed to land the Ziggs bomb damage onto someone if you combine it with the Hextech ultimatum, and just G4 and Thipper comboing so nicely here. Very interesting that we saw the roam down from Thipper, though, which made me feel like EVOS wanted to contest the Drake, which I didn't think really played into their strengths. Not the strength of this composition anyway. I especially wouldn't try and contest the Drake now, though, because as you can see, we have a Varus ultimate backup, and we have the Gragas who's roamed down, or is roaming down for this Drake take. So I think this is the correct decision from EVOS. They don't come anywhere near this, and I'm very glad that they don't. They already burnt a lot of key ultimates on their side, and therefore this was going to be a relatively risky thing to do. Looks like they're going to go for a tower race, though. This is... I love it when teams do this. Drake into tower. When the enemy shows themselves on top side, they did not have the wave set up for a first tower take. It looks like, one just pounced on it and just said, fine, fair enough, whatever. But I appreciate what Thipper is doing here. Thipper is cleaning out the blue side jungle so that when Zhanyo finally comes out of the dragon, he's got nothing to steal away. And in the meantime, he's lost his own blue buff. So just denying ability for Zhanyo to be able to go away and steal enemy jungle resources, as well as Thipper being able to do something on the map. Thipper would probably felt like a bit of a useless player there because, he couldn't contest the dragon by himself. He wasn't going to defend that tier 1. So he was just taking jungle camps out of his own blue side jungle so they didn't go over to the enemy team. And that just gives him something to do. And that was good. Good use of his time. Trade 1 tower for 1 tower overall. Gold is pretty even right now. I think the longer this game goes, there are both scaling elements that come into play. Obviously, G4 scales really well. Cat Satan scales, Valdez scales, Thipper scales, Miracle. There's a very heavy scaling team. It's just the team fight isn't as strong. Looks like the Rift Herald has been started up here. Gets it and dives over the wall. That's maybe one of the benefits of Fiora jungle. You just have that instant gap closer to get across these walls. Like you can go across the wall there into Baron pits. You can go over the wall into Dragon pits. Or you doing the Dragon, you can go over the wall. Maybe, but there obviously are other junglers that maybe do that better, but Fiora has definitely got it on a low cooldown, so it's interesting. She is keeping pace with gold, a little bit below her Baron laner and her mid laner, but she's, keeping pace with gold of being 0-1-1, so she's actually ahead of Olaf, despite Olaf having an extra assist. So she's obviously done something right here. To be able to sort of get that level of gold on. And hitting that first item, that Triforce spike by 7 minutes is relatively good. Plus the tower taking combo potential of Thipper and Valdez is very strong. Like you get a Fiora or you get a Fiora and anybody onto a tower. Fiora is very, very good at taking towers. And she's going to be able to facilitate the Zig. She's going to be able to facilitate the Camille. Love that little combo. I think we're going to see that combo in the mid lane again. We just saw G4 use his ultimate. Nice stasis though from Ninja to keep himself alive. That is one thing that will start to shut down that combo a little bit. That's that stasis and enchant that people are going to start picking up. I'm so glad. I am so glad that Ninja picked this up this early. I would like to see Baya pick this up as well. I think Ninja and Baya picking this up would be really crucial because they're going to be the main targets for that Hextech Ultimatum and Zig's ult combo, which is again a really cool combo. You don't get to see it as much. Which I think is just, very, very cool way of just dealing with a lot of damage to a singular target. But I'd love to see, Baya pick it up. That's a big engage from one kid, though. And they're going to get the pick onto Valdez. That is a huge engage. It's just a little bit too early. It is a huge, huge, huge engage. But it's about 40 seconds too early. If that happened around the dragon, that would have been an instant infernal. Not saying that it was a bad thing to do, but you did expend a lot of resources. Oh my God, look at that damage. Beautiful little ult from Cat Satan. Doesn't... Oh, no, Ninja, you didn't need to do it. Great double kill clap back by Baya. But as I said, that was a lot of resources burnt 40 seconds before the Drake fight when you know that EVOS are going to get back on the map in time to contest you and potentially have their own ultimates up. So it's a little risky, I think, to make a play like that. If you're then going to go all in on the dragon, but it looks like they were able to sort of bounce back in a little engage. Who picked up the kills there? 2 kills for Kai'Sa, 1 kill for Ziggs, 2 for Camille. A lot of gold going on to the correct resources, or the correct places here. But Corki does have the package for the next fight. And we have pretty much every ultimate available from one team. So they're in a really strong place to team fight here. I think what I want to see from EVOS is a flank. Great engage. Looking for the perfect time to Seraphine ultimate here. You definitely don't want a Seraphine ultimate when that Braum shield is up. I'm loving Thipper. He's just creating a bit of a pressure on the side lanes. You can see one team don't really want to commit just yet to the Dragon, but I think they had that ult advantage right now. If they committed, they had the ult advantage, and I think they've given too much time to allow those ults to come back for EVOS. If they were monitoring the ult timers, they would have known they had a lot more time here. Looks like he's going to get it. Nice. I mean, these Ziggs ultimates have been disgustingly good, but look at the team fight. Look at the team fight from one. They're able to kite back. They've got the healing. They've got the shielding. Obviously, this wasn't like the optimal setup for them, but it could have gone 10 times worse. But that, oh my goodness. Gotta be honest, I thought that was going to go better for one. Like, they kited back so nicely, but I think they just walked into too much Ziggs damage there. And they weren't, and because they didn't have the Seraphine ultimate and the Varus ultimate combo, they weren't able to effectively set up the proper team fight. I thought the package from Bio was really good. They just didn't have the support of that tier 1 turret in the bot lane to kind of retreat to. And that shows you the power of these tier 1 turrets, by the way. Massively shows you the power of these tier 1 turrets in the bot lane. Like, if that turret existed and one were able to kite back to it, they might have saved 2 lives, might have even sort of turned the team fight around. Just shows you how powerful these tier 1 towers can be and how, like, important it is to have them available, especially mid, but also these ones around the objectives. So the bot lane tier 1 and the mid lane tier 1, really important for early fights around the Dragon. And that was a clear example. Like, I genuinely thought one were going to do much better in that team fight. It looked like they were. And then suddenly, EVOS just kind of popped off. In fact, I kind of want to go back and have a look. Should we go back and have a quick look at that team fight? That's a little bit too far. Problem is the VOD is so long that the VOD's so long that we're okay, here we go. I'll skip forward again. I'm kind of like clicking millimeters across the VOD, and because the VOD's so long, you're going like a minute at a time. Right. I think they make the right decision to burst this here. I think obviously using the Gragas ultimate a little bit early on means they couldn't peel. So not having the Gragas ultimate. Now the big Locket shield, okay, that's what baited me. The Locket shield made it look like they had more HP than they did. Really nice timed. Imagine if they had the Seraphine ultimate into Varus ultimate there, they probably could have won. But yeah, it was the Locket that made me feel like they had more HP than they did, and obviously they hadn't dealt much damage with G4 still pumping out damage on the back line. That's kind of what went wrong there. Hope I haven't skipped too far into the future here. No, okay, we were about here, right? We were kind of about here. We'd just seen Cat Satan get killed, and we are now going on to around 11 minutes into the game. So, talking about key item spikes, this is a really nice item spike for Corki. This is a really nice item spike for Varus. Huge set of items for Ziggs and for Fiora, and even for Camille here. And obviously, this might not look like much, but we're looking at full evolutions, or the evolution on the first ability and the third ability here for Kai'Sa, which is really nice. So, big item spikes hit all round for both teams. I would say right now, working off the Varus item spike is your best chance for victory for one. So you have a really strong Varus item spike that you want to try and use as much as possible at this point. And that involves like a lot of poking, but you need to have like objectives to get from it. So obviously poking around the mid lane tier 1 that allowed them to get the tier 1 in the top lane. But obviously the next Dragon's not for a little while. So, you know, one's ability to kind of really make use of these power spikes is a little bit dwindled because they're going to have to wait a long time for something like to force the issue. You know, when you want to make use of power spikes, you have to have something to force like a team fight. And usually that's something like a big objective. But because one don't have a big enough advantage to start Baron, and because we're sort of quite a way away from the next Drake, it feels like they're going to lose this window that they've got to really play around some of the key item spikes that they've got on the Varus, which is obviously kind of not working in their favor. And Ziggs is only going to get stronger. Kai'Sa is only going to get stronger. So is Fiora and Camille. And so the longer you give these guys, the better it is. Though I will add the caveat that regardless of how long that you give EVOS, if the team fights are played correctly for one, their team fights are just better. I think the only thing that doesn't really work in this team fight is the Olaf, because it wants to go in and the rest of them want to kite back. So like Ninja and Bio want to play what we call front to back, which means that we have our AD carries here, we have our tanks here, we kite this way, but we attack that way. We just play essentially our front liners take the damage, our back liners deal the damage, and that's why it's called front to back. I actually think if one had saved the Gragas ultimate to disengage from that Infernal Dragon, instead of trying to go for a pick, they actually would have escaped and got the Infernal Dragon for free. I think that would have been the better play, honestly. The one thing that I like about the Fiora Camille is that because of the way that their kits work, they actually buy so much time in the front line. They act like pseudo tanks. You need to deal with them. Oh my goodness, that's a huge Seraphine ultimate, but it can't really be followed up on that. That's why I'm a little confused. Like, what was your end goal there? You were Seraphine ultimating under tower, and you didn't really have the follow up. Like, this comp wants to poke beforehand. Corki rockets, Varus arrows. Why are you randomly flash Seraphine ultimating under the enemy tower? Especially when the Braum's there and he's just going to shove his shield up and you're going to be able to do nothing with it. Regardless, you've just given away an Ocean Drake now. I guess the play was, if we make this work, we get Ocean Drake for free. But it wasn't the right place for it. I really want to see One Esports hold on to their ultimates a little more. The way that I ideally want to see them have the ultimates, let's imagine they're in the Dragon Pit. The enemy team face checks. You just throw your ultimates that way. That's the way I want to see it. Like, you get control of the Dragon Pit. You poke so the enemy can't walk into you. And then you just throw your ultimates at them when they face check you. That's the way I want to see One Esports play this comp. I like the fact that, like I said, Valdez and Thipper are playing carries that you need to respect. So Valdez and Thipper are playing carries that on the front line, they buy a lot of time with their abilities like Hextech Ultimatum, the shielding, the ripostes. And then you need to kill them, otherwise they'll kill your team. And that kind of gives so much free time to G4 and Cat Satan. Like, having these two, despite not being tanks, gives so much space for G4 and Cat Satan to do a load of work. And then obviously you have Miracle, who can block a load of damage on the Braum. I quite like the idea of it. I still don't know if I love Fiora jungle. Relatively good pick onto Valdez, forced to flash away. But again, like, he took no damage. He just riposted and flashed. And Ziggs is just like, it's impossible to see. It's impossible to break this mid lane tier 1 right now for one, because Ziggs is just clearing waves. Because he's so fed, he's just clearing waves so quickly. It's kind of nutty. That's how good Ziggs is, to be honest with you. Looks like they're starting up the Baron here. This is like insanely risky. I guess it's because they saw Corki back. That's a very aggressive engage. Very, honestly, really bad Seraphine ultimate. Straight into the Braum shield. Completely misses the Camille. That's a nice little pick here. It looks like EVOS weren't actually interested in doing the Baron. They just wanted to force the engage and go for the pick, which was the correct decision. Ziggs is backing here, which may mean they give up the tier 1 in the mid lane. Braum again buying loads of time, and Thipper's committing right now. Now, Miracle dies, but again, they protect the mid lane tier 1, so would you give your life for that? Looks like they're running in 1 by 1, though. I mean, I don't know why they're doing this. Like, why are they running in 1 by 1? Great stasis. Great stasis by Corki. Good flash afterwards as well. That was beautiful stuff. But Ziggs flashes forward. Olaf jumps in. Thipper. I actually don't think Thipper wins this. True damage. I don't... Oh, he might do now. He doesn't really have any... Yeah, he gets the win now. He got the stun. I mean, if Zanyo played that correctly, I think he could have win. But Thipper just outplayed him, honestly. Seraphine really respecting the full health Camille engage as well, which gets mid lane tier 1 down for EVOS, which now allows them to be more aggressive in the blue and red side jungle. You can see Thipper doing it exactly. Like, he's put a ward down here, nice little deep ward. He's going to take away the red buff away from the Kai'Sa. Can do this obviously because he knows the majority are dead, but this is just what having that mid lane tier 1 down allows you to do. Get a bit of deep vision down, start to establish control over the Baron Pit and over the Elder Dragon take, and that mid lane tier 1 is going to be especially useful for EVOS, who are slowly pulling ahead in gold, by the way. They're around 6,000 gold. It has felt like a relatively even game, like the kill score is super even, but obviously major neutral objectives have been picked up by EVOS, and one haven't been able to respond with as many, so that's where the majority of the gold lead is coming from right now. But if you look at the gold and the carries, like, Kai'Sa's caught up really well, but it's relatively even, about 1,500 difference. Corki's actually ahead. The big differential, honestly, is in top lane, Baron lane. There's a 5k gold advantage, which makes up the majority of the gold advantage that EVOS have got. It's all coming through Thipper on the Camille. Thipper is at 4 items now. Insanely strong. Insanely strong. And he's just going to split push because he knows that the Gragas can't really contest. Gragas can't stop Thipper split pushing. So, you know, by just having those waves shoved in constantly. Look at Valdez. That's insane. Nice barrier from the Corki, honestly. Gets the kill. I mean, that's a lot of damage from Dalders, but look, they commit so many members, and G4 just rotates down and gets a free inhibitor. Again, Kid can't actually contest the Camille right now. And so G4, really good roam, shows you just in an instant how a Ziggs takes a tower. It's pretty nutty. This is a bit egregious from Thipper. Has to use the stasis, and quite rightly so. That was very ballsy. Like the engage. I like the engage, but they just don't have the follow-up. They just don't have the follow-up. They're going to start the Elder, but they've literally just burnt. Oh, they just killed the Varus as well. They're starting the Elder, but they've just burnt the Varus ultimate and the Seraphine ultimate. I'm not entirely sold on this Elder take, but honestly, Bayer, turn onto Camille. Turn onto, oh my goodness. He's trying to face tank 3 members, but just get Camille. Just get Camille. Bayer, get Camille. Get Camille. Get Camille. You're so strong. You're so strong. Kill Camille. How is Thipper still alive? How is Thipper still alive? Evos getting away with murder right now. And Bayer on like 2 HP. Is he going to get it? Is he just going to... He actually just steals it. He actually just steals the Elder Dragon. It doesn't matter because they've straight up lost the game. Oh, okay. We're going to go back and look at that. They've absolutely lost the game here. We're going to go back and look at that fight. Okay. Right. Watch. Bayer is so strong right now. Okay. Bayer. Attack Camille. Kill Camille. Attack Camille. He's not even basic attacking Camille. Attack Camille. Attack Camille. Attack Camille. Attack Camille. Don't attack Camille. Cool. I understand he was trying to zone away the Ziggs and the Kaiser, but as you know, when you're playing front to back, just kill the threat that's directly in front of you. And then takes too much damage. Ziggs is absolutely giga busted. Fiora jumps across the wall. I'm still not sold on the Fiora jungle, by the way. Steals the Elder, but it doesn't matter. The game's over. And that was also a really nice showcase of why that setup in the bot lane, if we show you, that setup in the bot lane through here has now paid dividends. Like just getting that bottom lane tier 1, creating natural pressure, has given a free wave for Evos to be able to come and clean the game up with. It didn't feel like this comp should have worked. It didn't feel like this comp should have worked, but it did. I want to have a look at the post-match screen. Thipper played so well, as did G4. Thipper and G4 played so well. Getting some images of all the guys. Come on, show me the post-game lobby. Show me the post-game lobby. Yep, Evos take the fat W. They played really well, honestly. They really knew how to execute on their comp. I really felt that the team fight was better for one. Though Evos didn't fight for the first dragon. So, you know, I think they clearly knew that the first dragon was going to be a pain point for them. They needed a bit more time to scale. So I completely understand why they did what they did. Come on, where's the post-game? How long does it take to get to the post-match? Here we go. All right. Yeah, I mean, you can see 17k gold. Camille was absolutely popping. 2, 4, and 6. This is not telling me that Fiora jungle is good, by the way. This is not indicating that Fiora jungle is good. Olaf actually had a really good game, as did Corki. What went so wrong for the bot lane? They were doing so well. Those tower dives early on, orchestrated by one, were super nice, but they weren't able to make... The problem is they kept engaging. They weren't making... I didn't see once when Varus was getting some time to poke. It was constant, like, Kid looking for the engages, and they weren't really giving much time for Varus to poke. When you play a poke comp, imagine this is the dragon. I'm going to draw the dragon pit. Imagine this is the dragon pit. Here's the dragon, hungry little dragon. When you're a poke comp, 1 second, I'm getting a call, and it was a spam call. So when you're playing a poke comp, what you want to do, especially if you've got a poke comp with a front line like the Gragas, you want to set up on the pit, and you just want to like fire your poke at the enemy team, and then when the enemy team is forced to come to you because they're losing the objective, you go like Seraphine ultimate, Varus ultimate, kill them. But over and over again, I just saw them just force the engage and not really give much time over to Ninja and Bayer to actually land some poke. And honestly, combo between G4 and Thipper, even in tower taking, but also in just like the combos with their ultimates. I mean, G4's ultimates this game were absolutely nutty. It was so good. G4 and Thipper basically carried this. The rest of the team did okay, but this was basically a full G4 and Thipper show. They had such a good game. Anyway, I recommend that you go and check out the rest of the series and also check out that video by Hell's Devil breaking down the final game. If you'd like, feel free to drop a sub and leave me a comment, and I'll see you soon.